Hey everyone, thanks for listening to Hard Ticket, and welcome to our 10th episode special, 10 Top 10s, where Tristan and I have agreed to 5 top 10 topics and assembled our respective 10s for each. It's our 10th episode special, ladies and gentlemen, and we've divided it into 2 parts, so listen along and celebrate with us, and help us keep the celebration going next week for the exciting conclusion. Hope you enjoy.
It's a hard ticket at the movies.
Wow, 10 episodes.
I can't believe it.
Who would have
Count
thought?
them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, you know the rest.
Well, yeah, here we are. 10 episodes. Doesn't seem like much, but we've been doing this for months now because we started before we even released our first episode. And the first one we recorded, we didn't even release. So
Yeah. All the way back in what, April?
all the way back in April. Yeah.
Jeez. We've bounced around ideas about like talking about movies and stuff like in a public format for a while. Like when we
Yeah.
lived together, I remember we talked briefly about starting a YouTube channel
Right.
where we would do like video essays
Yeah.
and which, you know, is really funny to me. But yeah, this is eventually how it all came out, and it's great. I mean, it's exciting. I know a lot of our listeners are mostly just friends
Yeah.
and even some family.
Yeah. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Jeff's mom. So I mean, it's great. I just love talking about movies. I love talking about movies with you, and
Yeah.
we get a lot of really cool feedback from people. Some people who are pissed off at what we have to say when we trash Chef.
Yeah.
And,
you particularly
Yeah, when I trash Chef, and when you misinterpret Deliverance. So it's when Dallas Hartman
arguable.
defends Man of Steel.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And it's like we're two white guys talking about movies. There's a connotation there. But I think that makes us even braver when we already know the odds that are stacked against us. And also, I just kind of tell people like, we already talked about movies all the time.
Yeah.
And, practically speaking, I can lie and say, no, all we do is do it in front of a mic, even though I spend a lot of time editing these episodes. But it's nothing that I wouldn't have said to begin with. Not putting on a persona.
Yeah.
It's just talking about movies with one of my best friends.
Yeah, and watching them too. Rewatching a lot, actually. This is the most I've ever rewatched movies probably in my life. Like I really have tried to focus on watching new movies over the past couple of years.
Yeah.
Movies I'd never seen before. And doing this podcast has given me an appreciation for the pretty sizable backlog of movies that I've watched my entire life. Like I have close to 2,700 movies logged on Letterboxd,
Jeez.
which is a lot. and I'm not saying that to brag. I'm just saying that to like, stuff gets lost in the
Yeah.
shuffle. And a podcast like this gives me a chance to bring up some old treasures and compare them in ways that I would never think to compare them. It's given me a new way of thinking about movies
Yeah.
that goes beyond like a simple gimmick and into something that I think is meaningful. Like some of the similarities and differences we've pulled from some of the matchups have been really inspired, I think, and I'm really looking forward to see kind of what comes next. Is there an episode for you that you feel like is like your favorite, or?
Yeah, I really, really enjoyed our Big Rat Chef episode. That was the that as of recording, that just came out last week. It's episode number 8. I also really enjoyed our conversation with my friend Davis talking about war movies. We'll tag that at the end, but I definitely have felt sort of our podcast coming into its own the more that we do it.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And it definitely feels like having guests on has helped
Mm-hmm.
bounce. Like it's helped us bounce off each other and then off something else. I feel like,
Yeah.
and I just I don't know. I'm really excited for the future holds. I'm really excited for this 10 episode milestone. Our 10 top 10s.
Yeah.
This was your idea, right? Like you.
Yeah. Yeah, it was. I love, top 10 lists are like a guilty pleasure of mine.
Yeah.
They're just like, it scratches that categorical
Oh
itch
yeah.
in
If
my
there's one
brain.
thing movie fans love, it's making list. I mean, that's what Letterboxd is. It's like a big list making machine, basically.
Yeah, and I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, watching movies.
It's whatever. I'm usually checking my phone, but making a list, I'm locked in.
Which I guess that can bring us to our first top 10 here. Top 10 movies that you and I, Jeffrey Boggess and Tristan Moore, have watched together.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a fun list. We were sitting in the bar behind your house, munching on dogs and drinking root beer, trying to come up with topics. And this one I felt like was really a good topic because it kind of gives the listeners some insight into our relationship, because we've been watching movies together for 7 years probably. It's probably like 2018 when we started watching some like National Treasure, the Nick Cage November, all that stuff. Yeah. And you used to come over though to my house and hang out with my brother, because you're a year younger than me, and my brother's a year younger than me. So you guys were friends. You had the Jeffrey Boggess Movie Club.
That was ironically named in high school. I wasn't trying.
Right?
Yeah.
No, definitely, totally. There definitely wasn't like a fan shirt that had your face on it and everything.
That was just my face shirt. The JBMC shirt did not have my face on it.
I gotcha. The Jeffrey Boggess Movie Club. So there's a history of you watching movies around me, but then eventually we actually got to start watching movies together.
Yeah.
And at this point, you're like, I think my second most tagged person that I've watched movies with.
Who the hell is number one?
My girlfriend, Harley.
Oh.
So what am I? I know I'm probably up there too.
You're
you.
my number one right now, which actually really infuriates my girlfriend.
She'll get up there. She'll get up there eventually.
Yeah, she will. She's gunning for it.
Yeah, we don't live with one another, because like when we lived with one another, we probably logged close to 200 movies together.
Yeah, we watched a lot of movies in that apartment.
In that 1 year. And obviously we've watched a lot of movies since then, but so anyways, these are my top 10 movies that we've watched together for my first time. 2 of these you had seen before, but you showed me.
Yeah.
And then I think for you, these are all movies that neither of us had seen before.
No. They were all movies that I watched for the first time. But I think looking at here, let's see, 1, 2, I think 3 or 4 you had already seen.
Okay, perfect. And maybe I recommended, or?
Yes, probably.
Okay, cool. All right, so do we want to go, and these aren't in any sort of particular order for me, like ranking wise. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first. Okay, so my number 10 of the movies that I have watched with you is The Girl Who Believes in Miracles. And this 10 is not listed by quality, because this movie is it's like a bile fascination. You go into it because you want to see how bad it is. This is a Pure Flix Christian propaganda movie, by the way.
Yeah.
I actually don't know if it is Pure Flix or not.
Actually, I don't know. And thinking back on it, it definitely has the veneer of a Pure Flix. It fooled me if it's not.
Yeah, it's got the professional sheen of one. I think we watched it and we left and we were like, God's not dead, walked, so the girl who believes in miracles could run.
Oh, could ascend to heaven. Yeah.
Yes.
So we went to one of our local movie theaters in our hometown, and I think we watched, it was
Godzilla v. Kong.
Godzilla, is it X Kong or V Kong?
Yeah, X, I don't know.
It's the one where he takes a skyscraper and shoves it down Godzilla's throat. And afterward, we just walked in.
We just walked in.
Which we don't do very often. We don't endorse this.
We did do that after seeing The Beach Bum by Harmony Korine. We walked into an actual Pure Flix movie, Unplanned,
which is like a what do you call that? Pro-life? Anti-choice movie. It's like it's an interesting movie. Anyways, The Girl Who Believes in Miracles. This one, explain this movie, Jeff, because I guarantee like no one who's listening to this has seen this.
Yeah, no, nobody. I would say nobody, probably.
Yeah.
I've recommended it to people because I think it's fascinating.
Yeah.
It's about a girl who lives in a stereotypical nuclear family. Everybody's got blonde hair, blue eyes. They live in flyover country. It's probably like Oklahoma or something.
Mm-hmm.
And she sees this baby bird die by a lake, and she prays all day for the bird to come back to life. And by the end of the day, the bird gets up and flies away. And from there, the movie escalates, and this girl becomes known as a local talent who can like perform miracles. And her best friend in this movie is a little boy in a wheelchair.
Yes.
And I think probably like 25 minutes into the movie, I leaned over to you and I was like, by the end of this movie, that kid's going to walk.
He's going to walk. Yeah.
And he walked in the next scene.
Yeah. Yeah. And we were blown away
Yes.
by this movie. I think it was like you, me, and maybe two other like people or two groups of people in there.
Yes.
It was like an elderly couple across from us.
Oh
And
my
they
God,
broke
yeah.
wind at the end. 'Cause they got
Yes,
so
she
emotional.
farted. She farted and it smelled so bad. Oh my God. Yes. And they were eating it up, you know.
Oh,
but-
they loved it. Yeah. But we were blown away that like in the very next scene, like she would cause this miracle that is like such, like if you witness something like this in your daily life, you would drop to your knees.
That's
and,
it. Yeah.
Yeah. You'd be like, God is real. But no, it's like, where do you go from there? You have to escalate.
The escalation was
Insane.
it
And
was
this
amazing.
is supposedly based on a true story too.
Oh, really? I had
Yeah.
no idea about that actually.
Yeah, wasn't it? Wasn't that like part of it?
Probably has some text at the end that says something like
Probably. I mean, obviously, it's like how The Conjuring is based on a true story, but you know, there may be some. I
Right,
don't know
yeah.
if Jesus actually showed up out of a Doctor Strange portal, you know, in
that.
real life.
Yeah.
He might have.
Spoilers, that actually happens in this movie. He's dressed like a youth pastor. He's got like jeans on. It's amazing.
White Jesus, yeah.
I cannot overstate.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a fascinating movie to me. And Tristan, you like watching bad movies for entertainment more than I do, I
Yeah.
think. I fully, wholeheartedly recommend this movie to everybody just because there's nothing else like it, in my opinion.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. All right, I'm going to go next because
Yes.
we could talk about that. We could have a whole episode about the girl who believes in me.
Maybe,
And maybe one day we will.
Against God's Not Dead, hopefully.
I do love God's Not Dead.
I know you do.
That's a Kevin Sorbo, man. My number 10 pick, I guess, is Singing in the Rain, which we saw together at the Manor Theater in Pittsburgh.
Yes, we did.
3 years ago. I was doing an AFI, I think it was top 100 American movies.
Yeah.
And I was doing it in chronological order. And I never completed that list. I'm doing another list that I'm probably not going to complete. But anyways, we got to Singing in the Rain eventually. And I think you like were looking on the row house or the Manor website and you're like, they're playing Singing in the Rain. Aren't you
Yeah.
like, don't you have to watch that? And we showed up. We were, I think, like 5 minutes late.
Yeah, I think so.
So we did miss like the very first part of the movie, but it did not hamper my enjoyment at all. I loved it. Great movie, great musical. I'm not a musical person, but it's great. I mean, I think it's and it's been a couple of years since I watched it, but I remember it being sort of like a sort of a commentary on like the switch from silent era
Yeah.
movies to the sound era, and sort of a celebration of that transition. So Singing in the Rain,
Yeah.
I'm singing in the, it's everybody knows it. Like if you haven't seen this movie, I think it's definitely worth a watch. Your grandparents will probably appreciate that.
Yeah, that was my first time seeing it as well. And on the big screen, I thought, this is perfect.
Yeah.
Not a better opportunity to do it. I love that the Manor or the Row House, where those theaters in Pittsburgh are always bringing back classics.
Yeah.
And so I'm always kind of on the prowl to see what's playing. We've
Yeah.
watched a lot of movies at those theaters.
Yeah, and the Row House has a second location opening up this fall, I think.
Oh, yeah.
And they're going to have a 70 millimeter projector and a 35 millimeter projector. I'm super pumped. It's going to be really fun.
Yeah. And I always have to go to Pittsburgh when I want to see a movie that's not like the biggest movie of the year, because Morgantown has, as of right now, one movie theater.
Yeah.
So,
Rip.
but hey, bad guys too.
All right, what's your number 9?
My number 9 pick is Drive My Car by Ryusuke Hamaguchi or Ryusuke. Not exactly sure. Probably should have looked up how to pronounce his name before.
Yeah, that's fine.
Japanese filmmaker made Drive My Car. Came out in, I think, 2021. And I was trying to 100% the Best Picture nominees that year.
Right.
And I watched all of them. And I think Drive My Car was the second to last. I still needed to watch Nightmare Alley, Guillermo del Toro's.
That was like a Russian accent.
But Drive My Car was like, we started it late. And it's a long movie.
Yeah, it was over 2 hours.
And
it's kind of slow too.
It is slow. It's around 3 hours, I think.
Oh yeah.
And I remember it might have been like 11 p.m. or midnight. And we just looked over at each other and we were like, are we going to do this? Because the Oscars were coming
we had a lot
up.
of nights like that. We were just like, let's just put it on.
And I remember being like 40 minutes into the movie before the opening credits play.
Yeah.
And I remember you being like, no f***ing way. Are we really doing this?
Yeah, I don't think I'd ever seen a movie. And like, I feel like I've definitely seen movies since then that do that, where they drop the credits, Hundreds of Beavers, you know?
Yes.
But yeah, that's a good pick. That was a really good movie. I wrote a pretty extensive write-up about, oh God, it was a stupid thing. It was the stroboscopic effect.
Yeah. That was a very in-depth
It was very in-depth about 2 shots in the movie that I felt like were done on purpose, which was the wheels. It looked like wheels. So when you record a car driving, sometimes the wheels look like they're going in reverse because of the shutter speed and the rotation of the car wheel.
Follow Tristan on Letterboxd for a full write-up.
And anyways, the wheels look like they're going backwards, but then the next it match fades to a cassette that's going the exact opposite way. The reels on the cassette going the opposite way. I thought that was significant in some way, and I wrote a big review about that. And
it was great.
I'll take your word for it. I haven't read it in years.
I love that
great.
movie, though. It introduced me to Hamaguchi's work. I've seen some of it since, and it's definitely worth checking out. Especially like if you're trying to get into foreign cinema, Drive My Car is not a bad place to start.
Yeah, no, it's a great movie. My number 9 pick is a depressing movie called Threads.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's one of my honorable mentions on this list.
Good. Threads is it's like a, what if Britain was attacked, like shelled in a nuclear attack, and what if it was filmed like a documentary, basically? Like, what if it was? Yeah, it's filmed as realistically and as brutally as
gritty,
possible,
ground level, mass panic.
We traveled down to Jacksonville, Florida, to visit our friend Dallas.
As heard in our Man of Begins episode number 5.
Our resident Zack Snyder expert. We did an 80s sci-fi marathon, which was a lot of fun. Watched Tron, Blade Runner, I almost said Tron again, RoboCop, and we watched Threads, which, is, I guess, technically science fiction. It's sort of dystopic.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's super depressing. It's very realistic. It's not a light watch, but it is an impactful watch, and it's one of my favorite movies we've ever watched together.
Yeah, it's amazing. I've wanted to go back and rewatch it ever since. It's just such a commitment to put yourself through that.
Yeah, it definitely is.
My number 8 sort of pivots again. I tried to stagger these so that the bad ones and the good ones weren't.
I have a feeling I know what's coming up.
Number 8 is Will Reading.
Oh, okay, all right, there we go.
Okay, Tristan and I started a tradition, I believe in 2018.
Yeah.
Whatever year Holmes and Watson came out with Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly, we went to the theater to watch it, to cap off our year by watching what many were saying was the worst movie of the year. And ever since then, we have tried to watch the worst movie of the year on New Year's Eve to send it off.
Yeah.
But COVID year, the movie theaters had closed.
Right.
So we were kind of struggling. We had to watch something at home. We couldn't go to the theater. And we pulled up this movie that our friend Dallas gave us access to, I'll say.
Yep.
So we pull up this movie, Will Reading. Like nobody had seen it. It looked like a home video, basically. The poster looks very strange. And we were like, what the hell? Let's put it on and see what it is. And it is, again, a fascinating movie.
Yeah.
How would you describe the plot of Will Reading?
Well, I guess it's sort of it's a comedy, I guess. I mean, it is funny. It is a funny movie. It's sort of like a thriller. It's a bunch of friends meet together in the house of the brother of a recently deceased friend, a twin brother.
For a will reading. A reading of the will. And they're all trying to find
the will because they think it's in the house somewhere. He's hidden it in the house.
Yeah, the first half of this movie is mostly just people sitting around a table talking with minimum anything else. And then the second half,
you say people. It's 4 very schlubby looking guys. No. I'm not trying to be mean. They're schlubs. You know, they're probably movie guys.
Yeah, like us.
They're wearing Big Bang Theory shirts, and and then a quite attractive redhead with them who clearly is a hired actress who maybe knew one of them, maybe like it was in like a community theater
or was maybe hired through Backstage and thought it was a real movie.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And she is just there. She sticks out like a sore thumb because she is the only one who actually is doing any acting. I say she's attractive because actors tend to look, photogenic and everything. The other guys,
you put her in a room with those guys too.
Yeah.
That makes her stand out even more.
They're just guys. They just look like guys you would see like at a bar or something.
Yeah.
And they tear up this house looking for this will, and it's a weird movie. This is actually the second time I've talked about it on a podcast. So watch Will Reading.
Yeah. God. Yeah. The second half of that movie, just when you think it's all going to be in this kitchen and just like 2 camera angles of this group talking. Oh no, it goes off the rails. There's a musical number.
Yeah.
If I Had the Money.
Yeah.
Man, we got to watch that again. Yeah.
Yeah. It's been a while since I watched it. All right. My number 8 pick is Playtime.
Ah, yes.
Yeah. The Jacques Tati, I don't know.
Yes. Yeah.
French movie from I think the 60s. It's almost like a silent movie, but there is actual like ambient sound and some dialogue. But it's sort of like if you were to take a Where's Waldo or like an I Spy book and made it into a feature film. It's really fun. I think Video Game Donkey, who I don't follow on YouTube, but I've seen a couple of his videos.
That's how I became aware of this movie.
Yeah. He did a video highlighting this movie a couple of years ago. We ended up watching it when we were living together with some friends, and we had a great time. I mean, I remember it was a lot of fun. I've shown this movie to like my siblings.
Yeah.
It's a fun movie you can recommend to anybody. It's art house, but it always keeps your attention.
Yeah.
There's all kinds of sight gags going on.
Yeah.
It's a masterpiece of set design.
Yeah, blocking too.
Yeah.
I mean, like it's just you could learn so much from watching that movie.
Yeah.
And every time you watch it, I feel like you're going to see stuff you never saw before.
Oh yeah.
So much going on. I bet directing that thing was a nightmare.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. It sort of harkens back to some silent era comedies and stuff, and it's a great movie. Great movie.
All right, my number 7 here is a hard pivot to Koyaanisqatsi.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, documentary of sorts. A lot of still life that slowly builds and picks up the pace towards like urban life and development, the people, and it's an experimental piece. No dialogue, just score, just visual and score driven. Am I correct?
Yeah, that's true. It's almost like a tone poem, you might call it, like in video form. It's almost a video essay, just without any dialogue. It's driven entirely by the score done by Philip Glass. One of my favorite scores ever.
Yeah.
Amazing score. This was I used to work in a movie theater, and the manager's favorite movie was Koyaanisqatsi, which put it on my radar. And then eventually I put it on other people's because it's a great movie. It's one of my favorites. It's derived from a Hopi Indian word that means, I think, life in turmoil or life out of balance, I think. But it starts with, the plains and everything and the desert, and it's sort of nature. It's beautiful. And then it kind of ramps up into an urban environment, and you follow like urban decay and all that stuff. And in the ending of the film, this isn't really a spoilers because it's a non-narrative film, but the end of the film is a rocket ship going up into the air and exploding.
Right.
Rockets are like a symbol of like technological progress.
Right.
And the ending of the film is this rocket exploding, and it zeroes in on this one piece of debris that's just falling and tumbling in the air. And it just is like the shot of it tumbling with the music, the Koyaanisqatsi. It's great. I love Koyaanisqatsi. I'm glad you picked that.
Yeah.
My number 7 pick is one that you recommended me. It's called Barton Fink.
Ah, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is one of my favorite Coens. I'm trying to think of the line from John Goodman.
I'll show you the life of the mind.
Yeah, I'll show you the life of the mind. Yeah. Yeah, I just think back to that scene. It's a great movie. It's one of those movies that makes me itchy and want to take a shower.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's anxious and it's a lot of fun.
Very unflattering depiction of LA and the culture out there.
That's John Turturro from Severance fame. If you want to see an early role of his, leading man role, see Barton Fink.
Yeah, he's fantastic. Same with Goodman, too.
Yeah.
He's terrifying.
Yeah.
My number 6, this is a picture we posted on our socials before of us outside of the theater seeing this in Philadelphia. It's Cade the Tortured Crossing, a Neil Breen movie that came out just a couple years ago, right? He's playing the hits. It is, if you don't know anything about Neil Breen's filmography.
Yeah, where do you start?
It's bizarre for sure. Nobody is acting like they're in anything remotely resembling reality. And Neil Breen always casts himself as the hero who's like a quasi-god in every one of his narratives.
Yeah. An expert at everything. Yeah. Savior.
Cade the Tortured Crossing is his first sequel, kind of, in a way. It's about a character introduced in the movie Twisted Pair, in which he plays twins. Yeah. So you get double the Breen, which is great.
Yeah, one Breen, unshaved, clean shaved, and the other Breen with a very fake looking beard.
And the best thing about Cade the Tortured Crossing is that every single scene takes place on the worst green screen you ever see. There's not a single set. It is all green screen. Yeah. I'm pretty sure.
To date, I added Cade the Tortured Crossing to TMDB.
To Letterboxd.
Yeah, which added it to Letterboxd, which is my crowning achievement. And to date, my most popular review on Letterboxd is my review of Cade the Tortured Crossing, which was a very simple review. Every frame a screensaver was my review, because every frame looks like a screensaver. It's just like Microsoft backgrounds, and it's a really interesting movie. I think Breen is an interesting filmmaker. He's obviously inept.
Arguably like an anti-filmmaker.
Anti-film, I think would be fair. He borders on Lynchian, but he really is doing his own thing, which I think is really interesting. So I knew that was going to come up at some point. That's actually on my honorable mentions, because I did like quality movies. I wasn't trying to. Oops. Yeah. My number 6 pick is The Holy Mountain.
Ah, yes. Yeah. That's a good one.
Jodorowsky movie that we watched. We watched this one when you were still living back in your old apartment. So we weren't living together yet. It's been years, but it's a fun, psychedelic, spiritual kind of movie. I need to rewatch it. It's been years. Yeah. I haven't seen any Jodorowsky since I saw El Topo a couple years ago. So
nice.
He's kind of a blind spot for me.
Me too. I think The Holy Mountain's still the only one of his that I've seen.
Yeah. It's probably his magnum opus, I think.
Probably, which isn't a bad place to start for some directors.
No.
My number 5, moving on to the, upper half where they're all quality movies now. Okay. I weeded through the other ones.
All right.
I chose one that we saw in New York at the New York Film Festival, actually.
Okay.
And it's RMN by Christian Minju.
Yeah.
It is a great movie.
It is.
It was my introduction to his filmography, which took me down the path to watching 4 months, 3 weeks, and 2 days, which is a masterpiece. The guy can do no wrong. He's really great at directing these like static oneers. A lot of people try to get really kinetic with their oneers and move the camera, but Minju, he like just puts the camera down. And in RMN, he does it in the scene that's like a town hall meeting, and it's like 16, 17 minutes, and the dynamics of the room go from like really hostile to really funny to really like sad, and it's just, it takes a masterful director to do that. And RMN is worth checking out. I mean, the themes it tackles on like xenophobia and things of that sort are incredibly relevant now in 2025. So definitely worth checking. It just kind of dropped on streaming after that. It never had like a huge theatrical run or anything. So check out RMN. It's one of my favorites.
Yeah, I am not super surprised you brought it up, because I know you're a big fan, but it's good to get a shout out for lesser known movies like that.
Mm-hmm.
My fifth pick is Columbus.
Nice.
Kogonada film.
Yes.
About architecture and love and isolation and death and growing up. It's all kinds of stuff. It's a really poignant film. I've seen it 2 or 3 times now. I'm a big fan of architecture. I think architecture as an art form lends itself well to film as an exploration of space. And Columbus is probably maybe my favorite architecture film. It's definitely the most tender. It's a really sweet movie, and I think it's short too. It's like 90 minutes.
Yeah, it's great. It's a really, really powerful movie. It definitely, I mean, Kogonada doesn't have a huge body of work, but it is my favorite by him at the moment.
100%.
Okay, moving on to number 4. I have a movie from our Eastern Shore road trip when we were going to go to Jacksonville and then had to pivot last minute because our friend Dallas, as previously mentioned, got COVID at the last minute. So we spent a night when we lived together just booking Airbnbs last minute, made a big circle. One of our stops was in Raleigh, North Carolina, where we went to an Alamo Draft House and saw Pig, which quickly became a favorite of mine. I believe it was my favorite of 2021, starring Nicolas Cage as he tries to get back his pig, his truffle pig that was stolen because he lives an isolated life in the woods. He's a quiet, kind of somber guy. Mm-hmm. And you think it's going to turn into like a John Wick.
Like you stole my dog.
Yeah, you killed my dog. I'm going to just go on a rampage. It is not a John Wick. It is a very emotional movie and very well done. One of my favorite Cage performances to this date.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's I think that's a good shout out too. Lesser, not talked about as much as it should be, especially for Nick Cage, who is still regularly in the limelight. I think Pig deserves a spotlight. My number 4 pick is The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai Across the Eighth Dimension.
Also from our 80s sci-fi marathon.
We watched 2 really great movies. And also Blade Runner, which I had seen before and you had seen before, but also I have to shout out Blade Runner because it's amazing.
Yeah.
Buckaroo Banzai, again, I've talked about this movie on a podcast before. This is one that I had never even heard of until Dallas brought it up. And it is a very strange oddity from the 80s. Feels like you are dropping into a long-running series about halfway through.
Yeah.
And you're just expected to understand what's going on. Stars Peter Weller of RoboCop fame.
Yeah.
He's got Jeff Goldblum in it, John Lithgow, all kinds of goofy people.
Yeah.
There's a couple of scenes that are shot by the cinematographer who did Blade Runner, and you can tell.
Yeah.
They're the best scenes in the movie.
Yes. No matter where you go, there you are.
Yes. So be kind, or whatever he says. My favorite line is like, I've been ionized, but I'm okay now. All kinds of really funny one-liners. There's a watermelon that shows up, and he's like, why is there a watermelon there? And he's like, tell you about it later. I never do, that's exactly how all movies should be. You should never talk about the watermelon.
Yeah, it's great. Unfortunately, the only one in the Buckaroo Banzai series because it never caught on. But we'll get into that later.
There's like a fake out like sequel tease at the end, which is great. All right.
Yeah, I got to rewatch those movies. My number 3 is Blade Runner in reference to our conversation. I mean, like before we watched it down in Jacksonville, I had seen it, but I had seen the theatrical cut, I believe, with the voiceover by Harrison Ford. And it is a completely different movie without it.
Yeah.
I believe we watched the final cut when we were in Jacksonville. Either that or the director's cut, which are very similar. It is an amazing movie.
Yeah.
It is just, I mean, it's a sci-fi classic. And I was of the camp for the longest time that 2049 was superior because I was younger and I was a little edgier. And then when I watched it in Jacksonville with you two, I was like, no, this is a masterpiece and it stands the test of time. Such a good movie.
I 100% agree. Blade Runner is, and I love 2049. I was one of the lucky few who got to see it in theaters. I mean, it only played for such a brief amount of time, but I've been a fan of Blade Runner since high school. And every time I go back to it, I am more and more impressed by the filmmaking, the influence, but also the gathering of influences that kind of come, the movie comes from. Ridley Scott's, I almost said it's his best, but I love Alien.
Yeah.
It's so hard for me between those two.
Going back and forth.
Yeah, right now it's Blade Runner, but I know yesterday was probably Alien, so yeah.
It's my number one through and through.
My number 3 pick is another movie we saw at New York Film Fest, After Sun.
Nice.
Yeah, Charlotte Wells, I think.
Yeah.
Is that correct? The director. Paul Mescal flick. It's about Paul Mescal as a young father with a daughter who could be his younger sister.
Yeah.
The age difference is really significant in the film.
And that's a part of it too.
It's a big part of it. This one really affected me. I think of all the New York Film Fest films that we saw together, I guess we only went to 2 film fests together, didn't we?
I guess so.
But of all of them, this was the one that really affected me. It's definitely the one that caught on in the mainstream too once it released. I think it's one of those A24 films that people were like, in recent years, they point to and they're like, yeah, A24 still got it.
Yeah.
Because they think they've kind of lost their step a little bit. But After Sun's great. If you haven't seen it, give it a watch.
Definitely gonna. I'm glad you shouted that out. I chose, of all the NYFF entries, I chose RMN. I was like, let's just do one.
Yeah, that's
so
fair.
I'm glad that you're shouting out After Sun.
Yeah, good synergy.
My number 2 of the movies that you have shown me and we have watched together is Mulholland Drive. There it is. Yeah, of course it shows up. You tried to play it once when we were doing Nick Cage November and everybody got drunk and left the room.
Yeah,
and
they were already drunk.
Everybody got drunker and left the room, leaving us two and our friend Davis with Mulholland Drive playing on the TV, where it's not a movie you don't pay attention to.
No, it's not a party movie. I don't know why. I just put it on because, I don't know. I just said it.
Because we made it through like 3/4 of
Face Off.
Face Off. We didn't finish Face Off. I still don't know how it ends.
We just got the face. We didn't get to off.
I don't like it. I don't like it. But I love Mulholland Drive. And then when we lived together, we actually sat down and watched it. And it was great. It's probably my favorite film by Lynch.
Yeah.
Definitely in competition with Fire Walk with Me. But you know, that's got a bunch of Twin Peaks bias in there. Amazing movie.
Yeah. Geez, I'll try to make it short because Mulholland Drive was my favorite movie for a couple years.
Damn.
It's been supplanted since, but there are those days, man, where it's like Mulholland Drive. It's so good. And yeah, I mean, there's definitely a big debate over what is Lynch's magnum opus. Peaks is probably it for me, but movie-wise, Mulholland Drive. Yeah, I love it. Great film. Good pick. My number 2 pick is one that you showed me. Federico Fellini's 8.5.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow, that's right. I did show you that.
You did show me this. It's one of my few 5-star ratings on Letterboxd. I've since seen a lot more Fellini. This was my first Fellini. Not a good place to start.
It's where I started.
Yeah, I think it's his most famous film, probably.
Yeah.
Or
at
least
La
nowadays.
Dolce Vita.
La Dolce Vita, yeah, and Nights of Cabiria, stuff like that. But 8.5, great art house film about a director's relationship with his medium, about the making. It's a film about making film, which has since been done so many times.
It's almost like it's established its own genre, because I saw Stardust Memories by Woody Allen before 8.5, and it's basically his 8.5.
Yeah.
And then you have movies like Pain and Glory or like anything by Charlie Kaufman, which are basically just about the directors themselves having a breakdown.
Synecdoche is the big one.
Yeah, Synecdoche, even Adaptation, he directly references being John Malkovich. Yeah, I totally forgot that I introduced that movie to you. Wow. Mm-hmm. Good pick. Which brings us to our number ones. And there have been no repeats on these lists. I was really expecting at least a couple.
Yeah. Maybe this last one.
Maybe.
You did mention Charlie Kaufman.
Oh, no.
Nope.
Not a Kaufman. No. My number one is 2001, A Space Odyssey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
I don't know if you showed it to me. I'm sure you had seen it before.
I had seen it. Yeah, I'd seen it since high school. So, but I think we were at your apartment with Joey and we all watched it together.
Yeah. My old roommate Joey. This is before we lived together.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was blown away by it. I thought it held up so well, slow, but intentionally so.
Mm.
Just like hard to put in competition with anything because it's a classic, so ingrained in the public conscience. Yeah, what a movie. Woo.
Sheesh.
I loved it. It was great.
Yeah, 2001 is great. It's definitely one of my favorites. I mean, we're not breaking any barriers here by saying, 2001 is a really good movie. My number one is I'm Thinking of Ending Things.
Wow.
Yeah, the Charlie Kaufman. And this doesn't mean it's my number one favorite movie that we've watched together, but it just happened to be where it landed on the list. We watched this one with our friends, other Jeff and Obi, in their apartment. It debuted on Netflix a couple years ago. Was this during COVID or was it 2019? I can't remember. Probably 2020.
Yeah, it was probably 2020. Yeah. Honestly, I wouldn't put it past it.
It's an adaptation of I think Ian Reid. I think that's the author.
Yeah, I since went and read the novel too. It's very short.
It is very short. I really like the novel though. Great movie starring Jesse Buckley and Jesse Plemons. Two Jessies.
The Jessies.
And Toni Collette and Daniel Thewlis.
David Thewlis.
David Thewlis?
David Thewlis.
I always call him
You're
Daniel
the one
Thewlis.
who's messing up the names in this episode.
Yeah. Put that curse on me. I'll shoulder the it's fine.
Shoulder the Bergman.
The Bergman. The Ingmar. But yeah, I'm Thinking of Many Things is great. Charlie Kaufman, I can't say enough good things about him. I think that I only picked this one because it's not my favorite Kaufman, but it is the one that we watched together for the first time because we watched it when it debuted.
Nice. Yeah, I did not expect that at your number one, but yeah. Do you have any honorable mentions you want to bring up?
I did. Cade the Tortured Crossing, I did write down as an honorable mention.
We've seen a lot of movies together. I had Red Rocket on the list for a hot minute. Portrait of a Lady on Fire. Yeah. Old Boy. American Psycho, which we talked about in a previous episode.
Yeah.
And then Second Glance, but I decided to go with a different shitty Christian movie for that.
Hey, Scotty.
Jesus man. Why don't you introduce our second top 10?
Yeah, our second top 10 is top 10 movies without current matchups. So a little behind the scenes information from the Hard Ticket recording studio.
Don't share this with anybody.
we have a big, it's not an Excel doc. It's a Google
sheet.
Google sheet. Yeah, it's off-brand Excel. We have a big Google sheet that has dozens of potential pairings because we're hoping, the podcast is going to keep going on and on and on.
Yeah.
And so we've drawn up a bunch of matchups but unfortunately not, some movies are just incomparable, Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough. Some of these we pitched around and haven't landed on anything, and other ones it just kind of doesn't feel like you could pitch anything for them.
Yeah. So this is our top 10. This should be a pretty quick one. This is just our top 10 movies that we don't currently have matchups for. Mm-hmm. And if you're listening to this and you've seen these movies and you feel like you have a matchup in mind, comment down below. And don't forget to like and subscribe.
Yeah, seriously. We are always looking for suggestions. Yeah. So give us your best pitch.
Yeah, and make a pitch. If you want to be on the podcast, pitch an idea and we'll definitely, we'll consider it.
Why don't you start this one off?
Yeah, okay. My number 10 is, and no one's ever going to find a matchup for this. Well, you could probably do a Michael Snow movie. Sleep Has Her House, which you haven't seen.
No, I haven't.
This is like a 80, 90 minute art house film. I guess it's sort of in a similar vein to Koyaanisqatsi, where it's
problem solved.
Non-narrative. Yeah. Actually, you know what? I just had an idea. Brain blast. It's non-narrative. There's no dialogue. That's a lot of long shots.
Yeah.
That are, I don't know how the hell, and the guy's name is Scott Barley. He shot this on an iPhone. You need to see some shots of this film to really appreciate what it looks like. I've seen it 3 times. The week I watched it 3 times in a week.
Yeah.
Each time having a different emotion with it. Sometimes it was horror. Sometimes it was sadness. Sometimes there was like a weird euphoria that came from it. It's a movie, I think, about apocalypse, about ending, about transformation.
Okay.
Similar to, I think, Koyaanisqatsi. Not an easy recommend. But if you are someone who has an open mind and you're kind of into maybe something a little slower, Sleep Has Her House is a good one.
I'm pivoting because mine is Star Wars at number 10. We had it down as an approved matchup, and I took it off because I just wasn't sure about it, and I'm still not sure.
That's
maybe
fair. We're gonna hash this out on air.
Maybe you can change my mind, but Star Wars is just like, it's taken that borrowing from Seven Samurai. You could put it up against that potentially. We did not have it up against Seven Samurai. We had it up against Spirited Away.
Yeah, that was my pitch. Ever since I saw Spirited Away a couple years ago, I felt like it had some similarities to Star Wars. I felt like they were spiritually very similar. They share a lot of the Eastern philosophy influence, which I think is important. There is sort of a hero's journey going on, although I think I don't want to say inversion, but there is a different version of it going on for the protagonist of Spirited Away, and I'm blanking on the name now. Music is very important in both. They're both kind of epics, fantasy. I know people kind of argue about Star Wars being sci-fi. I consider it a fantasy.
Yeah.
They're both fantastical. They have similar beginnings with the parents sort of, in Spirited Away, they get turned into pigs, and in Star Wars, they get torched. There are similar kind of antagonists with No Face and Darth Vader, and there's similar redemptions going on. It's a lot of world building, a lot of the lore and all that stuff, I think, is very similar. I just feel like, to me, it is Studio Ghibli's sort of answer to Star Wars. And it might be significant that it came out shortly after The Phantom Menace, which was a film that let down a lot of people. I don't know if it did Miyazaki, but anyways, that's I have a pitch for it. I know you've gone back and forth.
Not saying we're not going to do it.
We might do it. We should do it.
Convinced.
Comment down below if we should compare Star Wars with Spirited Away. All right. My number 9 pick is Limit in English.
Okay.
It's a 1930s silent film by this guy named Mario Peyoto, I think.
All right.
Only film he ever did. He was a poet, and he made this film. It's like I think it's close to 2 hours. It's a silent film. It's again like a sort of meditative film.
Okay.
Avant-garde. It's hard to describe. It's definitely my favorite movie I've seen from like the global South, I guess you might call it. It's a Brazilian film.
Okay.
City of God, I think, often gets ranked up there with like top Brazilian films. This one really blew me away when I watched it last year. I was doing a big early cinema exploration, and this one popped up on radar, and it was my second favorite I watched last year. So it's really good, and I don't think it'll ever be able to be paired with anything.
Yeah, no, I don't know anything about that.
Okay, sorry.
Oh, no, it's fine.
Different.
No, I mean, I'm learning more movie recommendations.
Shouting out obscure picks. The rest after this aren't so obscure.
No, none of mine are really, because my number 9 is Clerks by Kevin Smith.
Oh,
that's one that we, again, got recommended, kind of kicked around for a little bit. I think we suggested doing like a hangout movie like The Big Lebowski.
Yeah.
I suggested doing Frances Ha, which is also black and white, low budget, kind of coming of age. Not that Clerks is coming of age, but it's definitely about like reckoning with your own kind of immaturity a little bit. With
your mediocrity.
Yeah, honestly. But ultimately, we do not currently have a matchup for Clerks. Not that we can't get one. It's just one that we've tried several times to come up with something for, and nothing has stuck.
One of our most loyal listeners, Hannah Moyer, she recommended this film. So we definitely want to talk about it at some point, but we are still searching for the matchup. Number 8, Synecdoche, New York, which we've already brought up.
Oh yeah.
We already just talked about 8.5, and I feel like I could probably pair it with 8.5. So
all these ideas, my first suggestion.
These ideas coming up. This is an interesting one, though. I mean, it's a Charlie Kaufman film starring Philip Seymour Hoffman,
right?
As this artist who continues to wrap himself in artifice as he's trying to get to the core truth of art in his own life and reflecting on his work and stuff. It's a very, it's a heavy film. It's a heavy one, but it's a lot of fun. I like it.
Yeah, definitely Recently, Beau is Afraid drew very heavy inspiration from it, but that also doesn't feel like a really great matchup. I know you, for one, you're not a huge fan of Beau is Afraid.
No.
I think it's just probably a little bit too heavily influenced in order to have an interesting conversation there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but maybe something like 8.5. Although I think Synecdoche, New York isn't the most codified in that genre as something like Stardust Memories or even Pain and Glory or Bardo for that matter.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a conversation worth having. I'd love to talk about it at some point.
Yeah, definitely. More Kaufman.
My number 8 is Grey Gardens, which is a documentary that came out. When was that? Like
70s. Right?
The 70s. Yeah, it's very early. It's about the Beals, both named Edith Beale. They're relatives of Jackie Kennedy who live in this mansion in, Long Island, I think. They can't take care of it, and they are suffering from extreme mental illness, which, they turn the camera towards it in the 70s, and now we can kind of look at it as a little bit more of an exploitative narrative. But at the time, when we didn't understand this stuff as much, it makes for some very interesting entertainment, that's for sure. And it has sort of a legacy.
Don't watch it with your grandma, though.
Do not watch it with your grandma. Do not watch it if you have any sort of resentment for a parental figure who you're taking care of, or maybe do if you want to feel seen. I don't know. It's not a movie that I feel comfortable comparing to another movie just because it's such a snapshot of a very uncomfortable thing. And you can make this argument for a lot of documentaries like that. They just don't lend themselves to our format. Something like No Other Land, which is an incredibly important political-ish documentary right now, is not something I'd be comfortable having a conversation in terms of matching quality with something else.
Yeah. I mean, there's a limit. I mean, film is an art and is important to exploring important issues like that, of course. And I don't feel like we're set up to dip our toes into something like that. We'll bring up 9/11 every once in a while.
Sure.
But yeah, there's just some limits, limites. If you will.
Oh, good one.
My number 7 is The Tree of Life, Terrence Malick. This would be a hard one. This is sort of similar in terms of reflecting on a artist's life. I feel like it is partially autobiographical. Have you seen Tree of Life?
No, the only Malicks I've seen are A Hidden Life and Badlands.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah, it would be a hard one to do, but it's one of my favorite movies. I think it's very poetic. Some beautiful, beautiful images in The Tree of Life. And I would love to talk about it at some point.
My number 7 is The Iron Giant, which we pitched as one of our first matchups against Wall-E.
Yeah.
And your justification was robots are people too. And I was like,
I mean, yeah. No, I agree. It's a weak justification. I mean, they're similar in that robots are people too. But yeah, no, I agree. That's a hard. We'll find one for that eventually. Superman. We'll do Superman.
Yeah. Find some way to talk about the Cold War from the lens of childhood innocence.
Yeah. My number 6 pick is A Clockwork Orange.
Okay.
The Stanley Kubrick 1970s classic. Dystopic sci-fi, almost comedy. I almost want to call it a comedy.
Very, very. It would be pitch black if it's a comedy.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. What do you compare A Clockwork Orange to? It is so. You got to dip into monkeys. I don't even know.
The villain protagonist kind of role. Where something
Junker.
Oh man, never.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I would love to talk about it. At one point, it was my favorite movie, but not anymore. And people would look at me weird if I said it was.
That's a good one. I wasn't even thinking about that. My number 6 is Godzilla. You could easily. What?
Which one?
The original.
Okay.
You could put that up against a kaiju movie, but at the same time, when I watch Godzilla, the original Godzilla, I think this is a character, a ubiquitous character who is like exclusive or originating from film as a medium.
Yeah.
Almost like film's mascot in a way.
Oh, yeah. Certainly of Japanese cinema.
And I definitely feel like I'm watching history when I watch Godzilla. I think it would be tough to find a movie that, especially one that actually holds a candle to it, but at the same time, one that is in that sort of same conversation there.
Yeah, I agree. I think it'd be interesting to put maybe Gareth Edwards' Godzilla, the 2013,
14, yeah.
Up against like Cloverfield, for example.
Sure, yeah.
Modern American kaiju film. But yeah, the original one, maybe a Ray Harryhausen beast from, was it 20,000 Fathoms? Something like that, maybe.
Yeah.
That's really all I could think of. But that's a good pick. My number 5 pick is, and I think we understood this assignment differently. I picked, because I'm doing top 10 movies as in like my favorite movies that don't have matchups.
I think I'm doing ones that are just the hardest for me to find a good matchup.
Okay, that makes sense. Number 5 is Man with a Movie Camera.
Ooh, that's been on my watch list for so long.
You should watch it. It's really good. It's maybe the best silent movie I've ever watched. It's a real just showcase of the form of the evolving medium of film at that time. Soviets were really going ham in the 1920s. Another black and white silent film for me. So I love silent film. I think it's really great. But I just don't know what I would put it up against. I think it would be a difficult one. Maybe Koyaanisqatsi.
Every one of these can just be answered by Koyaanisqatsi.
Yeah.
Put Godzilla up against Koyaanisqatsi.
Yeah.
My number 5 is Parasite. Just because it's garnered a reputation as just one of the best movies of the 21st century or ever, potentially. And it's got that kind of eat the rich message that's been really popular in cinema, but I think most people would agree tackles it the best.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that because there are so many, I don't want to say rip-offs, but rip-offs of Parasite since then that I feel like you could but those would be obvious. They'd be too obvious. And part of Hard Ticket, part of like the premise of Hard Ticket is finding these matchups that aren't as obvious.
Right, that's,
Yeah, because sometimes it's too easy. And we've definitely done that. Like the Wall-E Iron Man thing probably would have been too easy, I think.
I think so, yeah. And you can do it from a more meta perspective where movies that I think broke through to the mainstream despite being foreign movies, international movies. But then you're just trying probably to pull on too many strings and I don't know, the connection just doesn't feel as solid to me. Parasite was just crowned like the best movie of the 21st century by the New York Times. And I think it's at the top of a lot of people's lists, definitely at Bong Joon-ho lists. And that's like his go-to theme is capitalism.
Oh yeah. Anti-capitalism. Bless him for that.
Bless him.
My number 4 pick, and again, going with movies that I really love, is Harakiri, which is a Japanese samurai film from the 60s. This has been probably my favorite Japanese film I've seen.
Okay.
Basically, it's an exploration of honor and, suicide and the samurai code and all that stuff. I think this might be ranked number 1 on Letterboxd right now.
Oh, really?
It's number 1 or it's really close up there. And maybe it kind of switches in between it. An easy 5-star film. Like seriously watch it and you'll just be like, this is awesome. I don't know how I missed this. It's not hard to get into. Definitely a black and white film I can recommend anybody. And I'm recommending it to you right now.
The listener. Mom.
Jeff's mom.
Nice. Well, I'm glad you made the differentiation about how we misunderstood the assignment because my number 4 is not like a personal favorite of mine, but it is definitely one that has lived on our potential matchup spreadsheet and never moved on to the next stage. And that movie is Forrest Gump.
Oh, God. I hate Forrest Gump.
Yeah, I know. Forrest Gump has an interesting reputation. Definitely not a movie that sits super well with modern audiences, but I think not a lot of people think about it in that way. Forrest Gump has not aged well, people. I don't know if you've seen Tropic Thunder, but there's a line in reference to that movie that itself has not aged well either. And Forrest Gump is not one that we have landed on anything for, and partially because there are themes that I don't know if we're comfortable touching on just the two of us at the moment.
Yeah, there's definitely the portrayal of somebody with like, you know, like Tom Hanks' portrayal of Forrest Gump is, I don't know. You either take it as it is, or you're offended by it, or you think it's stupid. Like, and it's hard to. There are definitely people who have portrayed people with, you know, who certain mental issues or whatever, who weren't, you know, like Dustin Hoffman in Rain Man, like Ben Stiller. They're parodying, you know, that in Tropic Thunder with Ben Stiller. And I think there probably is a conversation to be had there at some point. I don't know if we're the people to have it. I do think Forrest Gump as being like this weird, like Gen X nostalgic, like historical thing. Like, I feel like there's probably something in there that we could find, but I do want to talk about it though, because I want to talk shit about it. I went to a break room one time, and they gave us VHSs in like the mix.
Okay.
And one of them was Forrest Gump, and another one was Jurassic Park. I did not break Jurassic Park. I love Jurassic Park. I destroyed Forrest Gump. I destroyed the out of that thing.
That would be interesting. Maybe we just have an episode where you rant about it and I just kind of sit back and let it happen.
You're like, I kind of like it. My number 3 pick is The Innocents.
Okay.
1960s horror. This is a gothic horror, a ghost story. It's an adaptation of The Turn of the Screw, which is about a governess who goes to an estate and watches over 2 children while their father is away. Their father is like a rake of some sort. You know, he's sort of a playboy, and there's all sorts of dynamics about gender and class dynamics, and it's all mixed up in this really, really atmospheric ghost story from the 1960s. This is another one I can recommend to anybody. I know it's a, you know, black and white, which can turn people off sometimes, but if you like something like The Haunting of Hill House, you should watch The Innocents. It's really, really good. And I don't know what I'd pair it up against except for maybe The Haunting of Hill House. Oh, that's weird.
What about Ugetsu?
Oh, I've never seen it.
Okay.
Who gets you? Who gets who?
We'll talk about it later off air. This is one of those things where, like, I have a movie I've seen, you have a movie you've seen. Yeah. We don't know if they match up, but we take the plunge together.
Might work.
It could. I'm going to write that one down. My number 3 is the John Sayles movie, Matewan.
Oh, yeah.
It's come up on this podcast before. This is a movie that deals with a very specific historical context, which is the beginning of the mine wars in West Virginia. It's the only movie to ever, like, that I'm aware of, ever really tries to touch on this. And it's very good. It's just a good movie in general, but there's not anything that I can compare it to, really, that's like that regional specific kind of representation of something that's very commonly overlooked in American history. Bloody Matewan, the Battle of Bloody Matewan. It's just as, you know, infamous as it is important.
Yeah. I mean, there's a streak in American history that tends to sideline class clashes in favor of other issues like race and LGBTQ plus rights and stuff like that. And it's because the capitalist overlords don't want us talking about class. I feel like it'd be interesting to pair it up with like the first 3 episodes of Andor or something. Might just be Star Wars brain, but like the cops coming in and like, you know, shooting people and stuff, and they're like a bot police force and everything. Like, I think that's kind of interesting. But yeah, Matewan's really good. My number 2 pick is Chinatown.
Oh yeah.
The Roman Polanski. I'm thinking of Ronette Pulaski.
I guess so.
Peaks, yeah.
Yeah.
Roman. Is that a did David Lynch do that on purpose, do you think?
Oh man, you know, did he ever do anything on accident?
Yeah, he just had Bob in the mirror on accident. Yeah, Chinatown, Roman Polanski film starring Jack Nicholson.
Damn.
Yeah, dude, I got it.
Right now.
I got it. Really great. This is like a noir kind of mystery film about the disappearance of water in like LA.
Yeah, famous like New Hollywood movie.
Yeah, forget it, Jake. It's Chinatown.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, some things that I know that having never seen the movie, just about it.
Yeah, you got to watch Chinatown. It's really, really good. I watched it kind of on a whim a couple of years ago, and I was like, I shouldn't just be watching this on a whim. I feel like I should be more intentional. This is really f***ing good. It's a really good movie.
Yeah, I've heard that about it. My number 2 is Fantasia.
Ooh.
Fantasia, Walt Disney's like feature-length kind of movie made up of a lot of different animated segments. A lot of really prolific animators worked on this movie. You know, I've never watched it all the way through, but I know at the same time, like, I was really fascinated with sort of the Looney Tunes Disney rivalry. There's a couple Looney Tunes shorts that directly take the piss out of Fantasia and were worked on by the same animators, but they're like 5 to 10 minutes long. Like, you can't put those up against a feature-length movie. And at the same time, like, further down the line, the whole DreamWorks Disney argument, like, I'd love to do something that directly kind of took on Fantasia, but nobody has ever done it. And I think it would be a hard conversation to have from that angle.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I love Fantasia. It's one of my favorite animated films. I guess you describe it as sort of like an anthology of animated segments, but there's no narrative really. I mean, a little bit, but
it was really about the form of animation, the art of it.
It's like a perfect, like a pure kind of film in that way. My number 1 pick is Vertigo, one of my favorite movies.
Nice.
Alfred Hitchcock's masterpiece. I love Vertigo. Again, kind of incomparable. A man obsessed drives his object of desire to bitter ends. You know, it's a really interesting movie. Have you seen Vertigo?
No.
Okay.
No, my only Hitchcock is Psycho to this day.
Oh wow. Okay, that's a big blind spot. Then we got to change that. You got to watch Rope.
Yeah.
Watch Rope.
Yeah. When we were doing our movie every month thing, you tried to give me Rope, but it wasn't streaming anywhere. Uh-huh. So you settled on Psycho, but you introduced me to Hitchcock.
Yeah, he's really good. He's like, yeah.
Nice.
That Hitchcock guy.
Keep an eye on him.
Yeah.
Well, my number 1, and I only put this on here because you shot down my recent recommendation for a matchup, is Jaws.
Yeah.
We do not have a matchup for Jaws right now. I tried to pair it up against Orca.
Mm-hmm.
Not that those movies are on the same level. I think it's hard to argue that there's a movie on the same level as Jaws.
Right.
But Orca is like one of the more notorious imitators.
Yeah.
And there's definitely a flip that comes between the human protagonist and the animal antagonist, where the antagonist is like actually defending itself and is coming from a sympathetic angle, whereas the captain, the human character in Orca, is a prick, and you're not necessarily rooting for him. But there is still a clear winner. Like, Jaws just speaks a much more refined cinematic language, and so like we don't have a matchup for it at the moment.
Yeah, my whole thing is with Jaws, it's a film that has influenced so many decades of filmmaking. It turns 50 this year. I want to do something that came before Jaws, something that sort of leads up to its legacy, its long legacy, its wake. Yeah. And I don't have a pairing in mind yet, but one day we will find one, I'm sure. And I can't wait because I love to talk about Jaws. Love it.
Thanks for listening, folks, and the celebration continues next week with 10 Top 10s, Part 2. To give you a sneak peek at the remaining 3 topics, Tristan and I will be discussing our top 10 bathroom scenes, our top 10 movie recommendations for people who want to get into movies, and our top 10 movies deserving of sequels, and our pitches for each. So, tune in next week for Part 2, and let us know in the comments and on our social channels what you thought so far. You can follow us on Instagram and Blue Sky at Hard Ticket Pod. That's all lowercase, all one word, to keep up with us and see what we're covering next. Thank you, Jared Tadlock, for designing our brand elements and keeping our podcast looking fresh. And thank you, Aaron Griffin, for mixing and mastering our theme song, sung by yours truly in a truly awful falsetto. We'll see you guys next week. As always, thanks for listening.
It's a hard ticket at the movies. Which one will you watch? Let's decide. It's a hard